Good afternoon, everybody. I would say good night, but that's usually a thing you say before you sleep. As you can see, it is Thursday, October 29th, 2020. This is pretty much me just doing tomorrow's job for myself. Basically, what I'm going to try to do is try to explain the PowerPoint and the Google Doc that I made. What I'm trying to do is either explain it or just go over it. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start by reading this Google Doc. It's 4 pages long with a bibliography right there. And I have made the link so where you can click it and then it will tell you what it actually is. I just put the website name .com or .org or whatever domain it had, but yeah. Alright, so I'm going to begin reading this. Trees are very interesting to me. So interesting that I have considered being a botanist, which is a plant expert. A botanist is a plant expert, which is why I said that. Since trees are so interesting, I decided to grow a tree, for real this time. Now, the reason why I said for real this time was because of my past failures. Let me go over them. For example, growing a watermelon seed. It was a hot summer day. On that day, around 3 p.m. or I don't really remember. It says or whatever time it was. All I remember was that it was in the afternoon. Anyways, on that day, I was enjoying some sweet watermelon. Some sweet, nice, delicious red watermelon. That's what I was savoring. I was savoring that natural treat that Mother Nature was kind enough to give to me. Anyways, after savoring and consuming the watermelon, I was thinking, what if I were to duplicate this watermelon by growing myself another one? So, what I decided to do was I placed a watermelon seed on the ground, and for the first day or two, I cared for it, meaning I tried to grow it. I tried to water it, grow it, all that. As time passed, I forgot where the watermelon seed was. So instead of growing a brand new sweet watermelon, I got, you guessed it, I didn't get anything. To be honest with you, I don't know where that seed is exactly. To this day, I still don't know where it is. It's probably still in the same place. Or maybe it's not, because maybe my dog dug it up and did something to it. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. All I know is that I could probably actually show you. Doing a little trip. Yeah, it is nighttime. I am doing this pretty late, which is, I know it's a habit I need to stop doing. I need to start participating in, just doing stuff late. It puts pressure on me. But anyway, this is what I was talking about. I think the watermelon seed was somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. I'm not entirely sure. Don't take my word for it. But I think it was somewhere around there. And I'm going to teleport back to the computer room. Alright, we're back. Now, where was I at? So instead of going burning, yada yada yada. All I know is that the seed is dead. And that I have failed. I failed that seed. That seed was a life that I unfortunately let down. Actually, maybe it's not that deep. I don't really know. Fortunately for me, not all the experience I had growing trees and plants were negative. Thank goodness. A more successful time in which I practiced the magic of growing something was in elementary school. I was given a Lima Bean or soybean, can't really remember which. It was like a grayish, light green, small bean. I'm thinking it was a soybean. Actually, let's make a click. Did I say click? Let's make a quick Google search just to confirm this. Okay, here's the soybean. This is Lima Bean. So I'm actually pretty sure that it was a Lima Bean that was growing, because I remembered it looked very similar to this image right here. Alrighty, and close these out. I had to place that bean into a cup filled with soil. After those two steps, I had to place the cup near the windowsill so it could receive some sunlight. Why is it important that these plants receive sunlight? That question shall be answered later. As of right now, let's get back to the story. So after about a week or so, my classmates and I saw some interesting results. There was this green vine thing coming out of the soil, which is the plant stem. Why did I say that? That sounded silly. That sounded real stupid of me. Anyway, in case you're wondering, the assignment that came in the activity was similar to the one I was given, or rather the one I gave myself. What this means is all I had to do was just figure out how to change the world or change the environment around me, and I just decided to do this. That's what I meant by the one I gave myself. My assignment back then, not this current assignment, but my assignment from elementary school, the assignment that goes with the story, was to keep track of how the plant is growing. How many inches does a plant grow during a week? How many inches did it grow during a day, an hour? What is the average growth of the tree over the span of a week? These are the types of questions that were just sitting there, starving for an answer. It was like questions I had to wait so long to answer. They were sitting there and starving for that answer. An answer that would take a considerable amount of time to answer, but also an answer that was guaranteed to satisfy all my questions' needs. It was like putting a hungry man into a buffet. The satisfaction was immeasurable. Not just for the questions, however, but for my inner youth, my desire, my hunger for an increased need for knowledge on how I can replicate such a sight. Some may say a miracle. With that being said, I decided to grow my own tree. What I'm doing is using potting mix and putting my tree, which I was previously growing in the ground not too long before the project. I was already growing this tree, which is something I've said in my presentation, but I was already growing the tree. I just saw the project as an opportunity for others to see my own project that I was doing before this Change the World project took place. What I'm doing is using potting mix and putting my tree, which I was previously growing in the ground not too long before the project, into a container with drainage holes. I wanted to use potting mix instead of regular soil so that I can eliminate the risk of pets damaging my plant. And also I read from somewhere that this is the right thing to do, which I also went over in my PowerPoint. So yeah, some of the stuff that I mentioned here is based off of the PowerPoint, because the thing was, I started doing this first. I started doing the doc. It didn't really work, so I just decided to do PowerPoint. Oh, you weren't supposed to see that yet. I started doing this. Anyways, I'm wasting a lot of time. This thing is 9 minutes 20 seconds. Anyway, I put my tree in a container so I can examine and observe it better. I didn't want to merge with the other mini trees because I wouldn't know which one to focus on. Another reason why I didn't want this was because when I had to cut grass, which I do like every 2 to 3 weeks, I didn't want to accidentally mow the main point of my project. So the main point of my project is just growing the tree and caring for the tree. That's the main point. That's not all of it, but that's the main focus. Moving on, I want a container with drainage holes so that when the party mix is holding too much water where there manually or naturally, the excess water can have a way out. Trees, just like humans, can drown if they are given too much water. Giving a tree an excessive amount of water is similar to placing a newborn into a pool with a depth of 10 feet, which is, why would you do that? I know the comparison that I gave was rather dark, but I'm just trying to emphasize the importance of not giving your tree too much water. But maybe that was like kind of extreme. Anyways, enough about tree caring and reminiscing. Let's get into the meat of this essay. So basically, just 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes of this video, I wouldn't really say it's too important. A lot of it is just me rambling, which I'm doing right now. But anyway, how am I impacting my environment? Well, let's first talk about trees. How trees in general benefit the environment. As mentioned before, trees give us oxygen, which we need to breathe. Trees also reduce the amount of stormwater runoff, which reduces erosion and pollution in our waterways. This makes sense because trees take up water and serve as an obstacle to it. Trees also calm people down, help recover, and enhance learning. Another interesting way that growing trees helps the environment is that animals are reliant on them for their homes. Humans do as well, since we use wood to make houses, tables, chairs, and other accessories for our houses. The information I found is mentioned on okay. It's a bad transition for me, but now that we know about the impact of a lot of trees, I'll now list the benefits of the tree that I'm growing specifically, which is Mimosa, scientific name, Mimosa pudica. Studies have shown that mimosa kills parasites, which can harm both humans and animals. In the study that the website was describing, parasitic roundworms were exposed to Mimosa pudica seeds. This resulted in the paralysis and death of the worms. The reason why this is good is because victims of these worms are less likely to die, therefore increasing their quality of life. Basically, the victims of those parasites and worms that live in the same environment as the parasites and worms are going to have an easier time living, simply because now something's shooing off one of their threats. This plant also kills harmful microbes. That's basically synonymous with what I just said. However, this was not the actual goal of my project. My goal was to simply add oxygen to the atmosphere. So that's how I'm impacting my environment. I'm just increasing the amount of oxygen there is. All this other stuff mostly represents the potential of what I can carry my project to do to the environment. But what I'm doing as of right now, I'm just simply adding oxygen to the atmosphere. Hold on, I think I'm missing something. Let me pause this right quick. Sorry about that for my unprofessionalism there, but anyways, I brought this question up earlier when I was writing this, and I was answering it, but then I guess it got deleted. So I'm going to answer this one right now. So the question was, why is it important that these plants receive sunlight? That question will be answered later, which is technically right now. Anyways, if I were to scroll down, as mentioned before, trees give us oxygen, which we need to breathe. They do this through photosynthesis, which is a natural process by which trees and plants use energy from the sun and carbon dioxide from the air to make the food they need to live and grow. As you can see right here, OregonForest.org contains a lot of information about photosynthesis. And oxygen is a byproduct of photosynthesis, meaning that it's like an extra benefit, but it's not like one of the main ones for the plants. Or at least in their point of view, if I was a plant, I wouldn't really see oxygen as being a benefit for me, because plants taking carbon dioxide. But anyway, let's get to the presentation. I'm gonna try to make this video less than 25 minutes. This is a really long video. I kind of like rambled on a lot. Alright, here it is. Changing the world, one tree at a time. Created by yours truly, Noah W. That's just the key. And I'm not really going to be looking over like the entirety of the project, because that's going to guarantee that this video is going to be like 30 minutes, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to go over the most important ones. My decision. What I decided to do for my project is plant a tree. Mimosa, to be more specific. I planted this tree in front of my yard. I figured that since I was already trying to grow a tree, that I might as well include it to be part of the project. But then it dawned on me. Nobody wants to watch a video about a slothful growth of a tree or a boring PowerPoint. At least I don't. At least I don't want to do that. Unless it's like one of those cool time-lapse videos. So I decided to make a Google Slides presentation, aka PowerPoint, if I were to download this and put it in Microsoft PowerPoint, with the intent of it being as informative and interesting as possible. And I kind of went over all this other stuff. Wait, what did I just rearrange? Okay. Progress. So this is the weeks and stuff when I was first starting. Week 1, day 1 is when I was transferring my plant into I was transferring my plant into this pot right here. It's different from the pot now, simply because when I was doing this project, it was more so of a learn as I go. It was more so of like, if you ever heard of the term blind playthrough, that's kind of what it was like. Do I recommend people doing that? Not really, because it can backfire. This is just the reason why I did this. I already went over that. Correction, I learned that my tree should only grow out of potting mix, not regular soil, a mixture of the two. Last thing I want from some critter to run. I already went over this basically. Basically what I'm trying to say here is I want my tree to grow into something. I want my tree to grow in something that's not going to be pest infected, and I wanted it to also have enough room for the roots to stretch out. Week 1, day 2 is me watering. Week 1, day 3, also did the same thing. And then I realized I'm not supposed to be doing that every day because that's kind of overkill. Week 2, day 1. This time I decided to wait longer. Basically, it was a rainy day. This was a rainy day. This one, I checked up on the tree to make sure to see how it was growing. This video, I measured my tree using a ruler. It's over 1 foot long. This is a rainy day. This is the aftermath of that rainy day. This was the earliest video I made, but I was just checking up on the tree and whatnot. This is that time when the ants bit me. I freaking hate ants. This is really annoying. This was me checking up on the tree, and I also went over some other vegetation. This is me using a tape measure to get a more accurate measure. This was me. I had an interview on this day, week 4, day 1, which is this week. This was a rainy day. That day was a rainy day. This was a cloudy and sunny mixture. This was sunny. This was today, which is week 4, day 5. I'm recording this on the semi-final day, simply because I pretty much got everything down packed. Yeah, I pretty much got everything down packed, and I'm not really going to be making any significant changes. I'm probably going to make like a conclusion slide and a thank you for viewing my presentation slide. And this will be filled out tomorrow. Here, on this section is my interview videos, and the clarification is just me trying to explain myself better. If you want to do what I did, if you want to replicate what I did, this section is perfect for you. This right here, slides 43 to 69. I don't like saying that number. Some people know why, some don't, but I don't like saying that number. So the reason why I put this interesting tree facts up here was simply so I simply just wanted to teach people about how unique and interesting trees can be. Not just trees, but like plants in general. I just wanted to, and the main reason why I wanted it to be interesting was simply because basically I'm indirectly persuading people to like keep an eye out on how trees and stuff are managed. I'm not directly saying that. Well, this one slide I am. I believe it's the last slide. This slide right here I am. I'm basically doing that. But this slide, this portion in general, the main reason why I included it, just to make it more interesting. So, yeah. But yeah, this is my Change the World project. I really hope you enjoy it. Sorry if this video is long. Yeah, no doubt, like this video is way too long. I honestly thought reaching 10 minutes would be difficult, but no, it wasn't even close. If anything, if I probably just kept it straight to the point, it will probably be still over 10 minutes. Cause that's just me, I guess. But thank you for watching. If you want to see this stuff for yourself, I will send an email. Well, I'm not gonna send an email to every viewer, but you know who you are or what I'm referring to. I'll send you an email. And another thing that I didn't want to tell you about this project was I started late. I started October 5th. I started October 5th, which is pretty late. This is just the progress. If I were to scroll all the way down, it still has to load. There's no way it started at October 11th. Okay. So again, I start October 5th all the way up to, let me go slower. I start October 5th. There are some gaps, mainly because, there are many times in which I just didn't know what to add besides, just the tree stuff. And I feel like it wasn't really necessary for me to do it every single day. So, sorry about that. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'm stuttering. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you I don't know when I'll see you. This will probably be the last video I post for like another 2 years, honestly. But I'll see you when I see you. Thank you for watching. Later.